watch the sequel to Black Panther. What can you tell us?
I got nothing.
Nothing?
Nothing.
You know something. There is something.
I know nothing.
You don't know anything?
Nothing.
That's not true.
It is true.
You've
I'm telling you.
started working on it, haven't you? No, not even in your head?
I don't know.
Really? Okay. All right. Well, you know.
Do this, you know?
So just how much did that turn up the pressure for this sequel?
I mean, yeah, I mean, I think the pressure is kind of always going to be there, you know. I've had a chance to make 3 feature films. Each one of them had its own very specific type of pressure, and when you in the process of it, it feels insurmountable.
Just bury me in the ocean with my ancestors that jumped from the ships, because they knew death was better than bondage.
What's going on, moviegoers? So as you guys can see, Ryan Coogler has yet to start or even think about the sequel to Black Panther. Now you can only imagine the amount of stress and pressure that this man has after the massive success domestically, worldwide, and just the perception of the interpretation of Black Panther on the big screen for the first time. This man has so much pressure on his shoulders for the sequel. To be honest, I would not want to be in his shoes, but I know Ryan Coogler will deliver along with Marvel Studios. This is a certain film that, you know, they want to do well, extremely well, like, you know, Winter Soldier. Winter Soldier was a great sequel to Captain America. So Ryan has his work definitely put out for him. This is his first sequel, as he stated. He has never done a sequel before. He didn't come back to do Creed 2, but he suggested somebody for the film. Even, you know, when he announced he wasn't coming back for Creed 2, I was kind of disappointed. I was like, damn it, fuck. We'll see how this movie comes out. But the trailers look phenomenal, and Ryan Coogler, you know, he helped, you know, enlist this guy to direct the film Creed 2. So they're in good hands, it looks like. But for, you know, as possible plots and what route they can go for Black Panther 2, so many options, especially since, you know, the Disney and Fox acquisitions will be completely done by the time the sequel hits. We probably won't get the sequel till 2021. They probably will start filming sometime at the end of next year, possibly, or maybe even the start of 2020. So we have a lot of time for this Black Panther sequel, and I want them to take their time with this. I really do. You know, Black Panther 1 was such a great film, and to pull off a sequel is extremely, extremely hard. Very hard. But I have all the faith in the world with Ryan Coogler and Marvel Studios. With that being said, you guys, let's talk possible routes that can go with the sequel for Black Panther 2. Now, okay, so you guys know Ryan is writing, he's directing the film. Now that we can actually put the X-Men into the MCU along with the Fantastic Four, there are mass majorities of opportunities to introduce certain characters into the MCU. With that being said, I would love to see Storm in a Black Panther 2. I would absolutely love and adore that. Or Monroe, that would be so fucking dope. Let me give you guys a little backstory on Storm. Her first appearance was Giant Size X-Men Volume 1, Issue number 1, May 1975. So quite some time ago. Daughter of a photojournalist and an African princess were tragically killed in an explosion in Egypt. Now, they can link that to Claw. They can link that. Claw could have been, you know, the reason why her parents are dead. That could be an interconnection between, you know, introducing Storm and her backstory to Wakanda and Black Panther and T'Challa. That would be great. I would love to see that. And then, you know, what's his name? Oh my God, I forgot his actual name. Forgive me, you guys. I forgot his name. Andy Serkis. Andy Serkis could possibly even come back to do a, you know, a brief cameo flashback scene of him actually, you know, detonating the bomb in Egypt and killing Storm's parents. So there's a lot of room they can work with there. Ryan Coogler, if you're watching this video, brother, please take some notes. I'm trying to help you out. I know you're in so much pressure right now. I know you are, man, and I'm rooting for you to do great for the sequel. I really am. Grows up on the streets, you know, she becomes like a massive thief, you know, pickpocket and shit like that. And then she heads to Kenya where she really starts to embrace who she is, you know, the mutant, and uses her powers to kind of help the tribes and stuff like that in regions, you know, within, you know, the Kenyan nation. So that's kind of cool. And with the mutant gene, that's the thing. Most people were like, well, how are they going to introduce mutants into the MCU? How are they going to introduce the mutant gene into the MCU? There's a lot of stuff that they can work with. Some people were even talking about the Eternals and the Celestials and stuff like that, of that nature. I was like, okay, that could possibly work, but it's going to be tricky. It's going to be real tricky to see how they introduce the mutants into the MCU, which I cannot wait to see. That's going to be a lot of fun. But they could use the words mutant instead of fucking miracles, Winter Soldier. I couldn't believe it. I remember I was sitting in theaters and I was just like, you know, in the post-credit scene for Winter Soldier, he was talking about, you know, miracles and the twins and stuff like that. And you saw Quicksilver, you saw Scarlet Witch, and he said miracles. I was like, I'm pretty sure you meant to say mutants, but because of the rights things and stuff like that, you couldn't use it. So you opted out with the word miracles. But now, since the rights are going to be going back to Disney and Marvel Studios, they can use the word mutants. So I'm excited to see who's the first one to say mutant in the MCU. That's going to be something fun to see. And then Professor X finds her, and he was like, "You have a greater calling, and let me take you back." And he, you know, she joins the X-Men, and that's when she becomes the Storm that we know. So they can possibly introduce Storm into Black Panther's life in Wakanda, Egypt, Africa. It's all like there. So they can write that. That could be great. And by the time they're working on the sequel, the rights will already be there. So they can add her into the script. So that wouldn't be an issue. Even in the comics, they get married. So there's a lot of room to work with when we're talking about Storm and Black Panther in Wakanda and Kenya. So a lot of good stuff, a lot of great stuff. Even a possible, you know, potential return of Eric Killmonger. You know, not necessarily him actually coming back to life, but him in the ancestral plane, you know, T'Challa visiting him, talking to him. I would love to see that, because in all honesty, Eric Killmonger, Michael B. Jordan's performance was the greatest thing in Black Panther. He was astonishing. He was believable. You understood his motives. You understood where he was coming from. He was one of us, and he just wanted to better the world through his eyes. Every villain thinks they're their hero in their own eyes. And, you know, his performance was as Killmonger was great. I still, to this day, I couldn't believe it. I was just like, man, I like Michael B. Jordan, but after Killmonger, I was like, I love Michael B. Jordan. He was great. He was awesome. And I would love to see him come back in some form or way as Killmonger. What else? I took a bunch of notes. Namor. They can introduce him in the Black Panther, the sequel. Now, I'm not too sure who owns the rights to that character. Some people are saying it might be Universal. So Universal owns the rights to him and the Hulk. So what kind of deal they make is, you know, for the Hulk, you can't have your own solo Hulk movie anymore. You can only have him in other people's films. But if that's the case with Namor, they can do that. They can throw him into the Black Panther sequel and, you know, establish his story and stuff like that. His first appearance was in the Golden Age Motion Picture Funnies Weekly, Volume 1, Issue 1, April 1941. He's been around for quite some time. Silver Age Fantastic Four, Volume 1, Issue number 4, May 1962. So he definitely has a lot of history with the Fantastic Four and Black Panther. So there's a lot of room to work with him with that. So he's the Aquaman of the Marvel universe, pretty much. He's King of Atlantis and stuff like that. He's definitely the Aquaman. I would love to see a crossover, Aquaman and Namor. That would be pretty fucking awesome if you ask me. They can even do a Doctor Doom, but it would be kind of tricky to introduce a Doctor Doom in a Black Panther sequel when Doctor Doom hasn't been established into the MCU yet. So I'd rather have them do, you know, their Fantastic Four origin story, but not your typical origin story. Have Kevin Feige, you know, the mastermind, look over that and adapt a very unique story for Doctor Doom, and have Doctor Doom in, I guess, a Black Panther 3 possibly. I just don't see a Doctor Doom potentially working out for the sequel, maybe a third part for Doctor Doom. And even, you know, Reed Richards and stuff like that, because Black Panther, if you're dating back to the comic books, definitely has had some history with the Fantastic Four. The White Wolf, they can even do a possible story with the White Wolf with Bucky Barnes, because that's what they called him in Infinity War. The White Wolf has rested long enough. He's the White Wolf. He is no longer the Winter Soldier. He's Bucky / White Wolf. So they can. There's a lot of breathing room to, you know, work with Sebastian Stan in the MCU. After, you know, they're planning on to do their own Disney streaming service with, you know, spin-off of Bucky and Falcon. So a lot of stuff they can work with that as well. And even possibly Shuri, you know, having Shuri suit up as a Black Panther, you know, or having T'Challa, or not T'Challa, having Shuri make her own suit in the sequel. How awesome would that be? I mean, we never know. We might even see Shuri in a suit in Avengers 4 after the killing of half of the universe. Shuri, she survived. So we could possibly, who knows? Like, she's smart as hell. Her mind, her tech is just astonishing. So we could possibly see Shuri in a Black Panther suit. How awesome and surprising would that shit be? And I would love to see Shuri and Iron Man work together, you know, going forth in Avengers 4, them coming up with some crazy ass weapons to stop Thanos. So there's a lot of breathing room to work with, you guys. I mean, I got my Black Panther Ultimate Encyclopedia Guidebook. You know, it's just a lot of good stuff in this book that, you know, can possibly lead to direct sequels or trilogies, you know, with the characters and other Marvel characters as well. But it's pretty awesome, you guys. As you see, I was reading Namor, you know, getting my knowledge up on him. So I don't know too much about him. I never read, I read, you know, comic books with him in it, but I never read individual comic books with him alone, solo based. But I'm excited for the sequel to Black Panther. I cannot wait. It probably will be part of the Phase 4 after Spider-Man Far From Home. You'll have the Eternals, you'll have the Black Widow, you have Doctor Strange 2, and the Black Panther sequel. So there's a lot of fun stuff coming up in Phase 4, and I can't wait to see what Marvel Studios does with the acquisitions between Disney and Fox. So much great potential to work with, and I'm beyond excited for the future of the MCU, guys. Beyond excited. But post your comments down below, you guys. Let me know what you guys think. The sequel for Black Panther, what route they should go with, and what would you like to see in the sequel to Black Panther? Storm, Doctor Doom, Silver Surfer, so much stuff, you guys. Post your comments down below, you guys, and thank you for taking time out of your day for watching SeaWorld Productions. Peace.